Hello beloveds, how you all going today? My name's Zara Wolf and I'm here to give you the week 28 energy tip. So, after channeling the blog on Saturday, a lot came through, so please check the description box below and have a look at the written content of this week's blog for the messages. This week, right now, when I'm recording this, Mercury's stationed, so I've had to really focus on my grounding and breathing and things like this because I'm ruled by Mercury, but also the moon as well, and it's not a very easy time for a lot of signs, and because our astrology incorporates many different aspects of the astrology, it all affects us in different ways. So with us being the sun in Cancer right now, Mercury stationed, about to go retrograde until the end of the month, as well as Chiron will be also stationing after Mercury goes retrograde at 9:15 on the 8th. Chiron at 9:45 stations to go retrograde at 9:40 the following night, which will be the 9th. So there's a lot of heavy energies coming up surrounding our inner child, and our core wounds surrounding that. So looking at, I want to say, still looking at like the Saturn-Pluto conjunction actually is coming to me right now in Capricorn, because Capricorn is our father wound, and the mother being Cancer, that's our mother wound. So the North and South Node are still there and present, and so on top of this energy, it is really forcing us to revise and have a look into our relationship dynamics surrounding that, and our belief systems and paradigms that we've grown up believing about ourselves as well. Things surrounding our true worth and the way we feel and having our feelings validated, and our capabilities and abilities to do things, you know. They're all not under, under scrutiny right now. Everything's being reevaluated. And with Chiron, even though it's not a planet, it's an asteroid, but with Chiron joining the 5 planets that are going to be in retrograde, this is just going to add that extra layer of introspection that's required at this time. So for week 28, and one thing I want to mention is as well, like, yes, I'm doing this for week 28, but these messages may resonate weeks after. So don't just watch them because it's for this week. I am just in channel and I do use the tarot, but at the same time I think messages come across at varying times of our lives for certain reasons, and that's what synchronicity is all about, you know. So I'll get into the tarot and we'll have a look at what advice we've got for the next week to 10 days, and see what messages come through for you all. Straight away the Devil card comes up, which is a card for Capricorn and Saturn. It's also obsessions and addictions, and also the illusion of being bound and trapped. And the King of Swords has come up on the bottom of the deck also, which is a card for Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Generally an Aquarius gentleman or someone who's in law or contractual, in a contractual sense, and the 8 of Pentacles as well, and the Temperance card. So let's have a look. What messages do we have for the collective, please? Wow, the moon. So Cancerian energies, secretive energies. This is, yeah, this for me is tying in with Neptune being retrograde right now as well, because the moon, it's secrets and illusions. So it's the illusion of everything is fine on the surface, but underneath is where we're sort of cloaking and hiding all of our pain, or all of our, yeah, I just got goosebumps then, all of our pain and all of our wounds, because we don't want to dwell in that aspect. And because of the years of being told we can't feel, we're now learning how to tap back into our feeling bodies, you know, and realizing that we are allowed to feel the way we feel, and those feelings are valid no matter what anyone says to you, okay? The Moon and the Page of Wands. So this is all about preparing to take action forward. It's messages coming in. It's focusing on fresh new perspectives and fresh new options. He's about to embark on a journey, is what I've just heard. So whether that be of self-discovery, very much could be with all of these planets and this asteroid going into retrograde. I really feel that the Page of Wands is, because the pages are the younger representation, so the teenagers of the deck, you know. So maybe go back to teenage years, 14, 15 especially, followed by the 8 of Wands, which is that fast movement forward and manifestation energy. It's also travel overseas. Yes, it's going straight into the Fool, and also the 4 of Swords. And the 4 of Swords is that call of going within. The swords are facing downwards in the tarot. I'll put them up on the screen for you now. There's a spread. The swords are facing downwards in the tarot, and this generally will mean that there is introspection required. The 4 of Swords is a very similar card to the Hermit, which is the card for Virgo in the Major Arcana. Now the Fool, going back to the Fool just quickly here, they're telling me it's wise to remain in faith right now. And with the 4 of Swords following that, that kind of makes sense, because it's not always about logicking it out. I know logicking is not a word, but you know what I mean. So trusting your feeling body as well, especially with the Moon card being here. This is our dreaming, this is our fantasy, and this is our card for listening to those messages we receive on the astral plane, you know, as well as the wolf and the dog here with the crab. It's very representative of the yin and the yang aspect, I feel, right now, which is odd because that's not come up before for me. But the dog being a very, very loyal companion and massive heart, and so does the wolf. The wolf is a protector. It also has a very, very keen eye, and does require a discipline when we are wanting to make changes in our lives. So let's clarify the Moon here, please. The Moon's clarified by the 5 of Pentacles. So as the 5 of Pentacles is that feeling left out in the cold, that's a self-worth card straight up. It's reevaluating your position in life, checking in with how you really feel about yourself and how you really value yourself. So these messages are going to be repeating for the next couple of weeks, because the next couple of months I should say, because they already have been, but also because of the retrogrades now coming into full effect. Once Mercury goes retrograde as well at 9:45 or 9:15 tonight, this is going to, it's reminiscing, they're saying. It's a reminiscing energy. Please clarify the Page of Wands. Okay, the Page of Wands is clarified by the 5 of Swords. And so the Five of Swords is that energy of mental conflict, arguments between people. It is a 5, so it's also change. So you've got 5 of Pentacles and 5 of Swords. So fives are always changes in the tarot. In numerology as well, it's change and liberation and breaking free of those restrictions. So please clarify the 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands is clarified by the 7 of Wands. So even though there are challenges and obstacles in your way right now, don't give up, because the 7s are always encouragement to keep moving forward. As I said, that ties back into me with the Fool and the 4 of Swords, because it's remaining on faith. It's holding faith and belief in our abilities and our trust in ourselves, which has been a reoccurring theme for the last few weeks, as well as learning to trust what we feel and what we see. And that's the Star card that's flown out just then to clarify the Fool. So the Star card is all about hope and renewal and being seen, but it's the card for Aquarius, and it's also the card of healing. And it does have the water bearer here, who is balancing the two, pouring of the water between the two jugs. So as she's pouring it into the lake from the other jug, it's coming in from all the other avenues and inlets back into the pond. Star of Aquarius is coming up again as well. Now, this is interesting because I don't know exactly what that is. I'm going to look it up, and if I find any information on it, I'll link it below in the description box underneath the blurb. But the star has the ibis in the background, which is the card for Thoth, the ancient Egyptian god who is the keeper of the Akashic records. So know that your past doesn't determine your future. Your past is something to learn from. And we just got the Knight of Cups fly out of the deck then. So this is very water in Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy. It is a gentleman whom is light-hearted and fun, and also someone who, I'm just getting really drawn to the water in this card, into the stream, because it is the flow of easy come, easy go sort of thing is how I'm feeling. So allow things to flow into your life as they're required, and allow them to just as easily leave when it is time for them to leave. Can we have some clarification on the 4 of Swords, please? Thank you. And the 4 of Swords is the Sun card, clarified by the Sun. So with the Sun is the card for Leo, and then it's also a reminder to be carefree. So remember to play, because this week with Chiron stationing, going retrograde, it'll be retrograde until the 13th of December, and so this is all about connecting in with your inner child and remembering to nurture that inner child, because even though we are at a physical age right now of, say for me, I'm 36, so there are still aspects of my 4, 5, 6-year-old self whom are presently active at the same time in this lifetime, in my lifetime. So connect in with those inner children of your own at certain ages, and speak to them and nurture them and listen to them, acknowledge their pains, because that's where you're going to find that there's the most growth afforded to you in this period of time. So the underlying energies as well, and we've got 27 seconds left, so I'll try not to keep it much longer. Just move these cards out of the way. The underlying energy is the 6 of Swords, the 3 of Swords, the Strength card, the Knight of Wands, the 10 of Wands, and final card being the Temperance card, which is also fire energy. Yes, we've got the 6 of Swords and the 3 of Swords. This here indicates that we are leaving a cycle behind us, I feel, because in the 6 of Swords, the people are leaving troubled waters and moving away into calmer territory. However, with the Three of Swords being present here as the preceding card, it indicates to me that we're about to enter in another layer of healing, and the strength, yeah, I just got goosebumps. So that's my confirmation. So we're about to enter another phase and another layer of healing, and I'll put the cards up on the screen now for you, and see with the Strength card here how this lady is like placating is the word that's coming to mind. The lion. In the story of the Major Arcana, the lion is representative of our unbalanced ego. You know, so if that following on to the Knight of Wands and then the Ten of Wands, this is all fire energies, so Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, and as you can see in this Temperance card here, there is a balancing out of more water energies. So it's really teaching us how to connect in with our emotional beings and rediscovering what it is that is truly at our heart space. So with Knight of Wands energy, again, it's not a page, it's a knight, so he has a level of maturity about him. However, the Knight of Wands is very quick and fiery energy. He's sort of like the flirt of the party, like that guy who can talk to anyone and really loves the attention. And so potentially, if there has been a breakup here, if you wanted to look at this from a romantic point of view, so the signs that would be represented in this underlying energies are Gemini, Libra, Aquarius for the swords, definitely Leo and Sagittarius with the Strength and the Temperance card here, but the Knight of Wands and the Ten of Wands, the Wands energy is fire, so it's Aries as well as Leo and Sagittarius. Now it could be that there has been a breakup, and now, apologies about that, my video cut out. So going back to the reading of if it is in a romantic aspect, potentially it could be you shifting your focus and taking and reconnecting in with your inner strength to move on forward, switch your focus, take the experience for what it was. And with the Ten of Wands here, it's a releasing of a burden as well, because you're going back from the Knight of Wands back into the Ten of Wands. So it really feels to me that by switching your focus to your healing, especially with the Temperance card here, because this is a call from your guides and your angels for you to know that you're supported and that you're being taken care of on a higher realm. So I'm sorry if this is a breakup reading for some of you. However, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking of this. So I have to say it, each connection that we make in a romantic aspect especially, it's all contractual, it's all karmic, and the reason each person or energy is brought into our life and on our path at any specific time or particular time, it is because there is a contract before either of you were conceived, which is in place, and that contract depicts what lessons you are going to learn from each other in carrying forward. And I think the forward should be the highlight, and the point here is that it is about carrying our learned lessons forward into our lives and realizing, especially with the Leo here, the Strength card, being in the middle of the deck, realizing that with each heartbreak it builds a level of strength within us. It affords us another layer of resilience, as well as affording us another layer of clarity of what we want in our lives, what we're going to stand for in our lives and in our connections, especially romantic. Too many people, myself included, did this for years on end. I allowed myself to stay in connection with people because of how much I loved them, regardless of how they made me feel or how I perceived that they were treating me. And now please note my wording there is how I perceived them to be treating me. The last relationship that I had was for 7.5 years, and I never felt loved. I felt invisible. I felt like it wouldn't matter whether I was in the room or not. Beyond feeling part of the furniture, it was just like I was superfluous. Like it didn't matter whether I was present or not, is how I felt in that relationship a lot of the time. And, you know, when I would go to him and try and explain, I would have he'd roll his eyes at me, or he would just not know. Like, that's the thing, he and I had very different love languages, and I didn't know how to accept his love, because his way of showing love was by, you know, giving me gifts and presents and all this sort of thing, whereas my emotional love language is connection, is communication, is shared beliefs and sharing in experiences and in ideas as well, and information, you know, like the communication aspect for me, like, not surprising considering I'm Virgo sun, the mercurial aspect of that communication really strengthens the bond. There was not that there in that relationship. So the Justice card is flashing up into my head as well right now as well. So that's the card of Libra, ruled by Venus, just as Taurus is. And the lesson for Libra on a karmic sense is to balance and set boundaries in relationships. Ensure that you're receiving what you're putting out there and what you're giving, you know, to ensure that you're not overexpending yourself. Like, Justice is and Libra are the scales, you know, so it's fairness and equality. So I think I wrote it in the blog, actually. There's something about, like, there's a bunch of questions in there of points to ponder, and one of them is, how much longer are you going to allow and accept that behavior in your reality? Like, when are you going to put your foot down, basically, and just be like, nah, that's enough bullshit, I'm out of here. Or, you know, I don't feel like my needs are being met. You know, this connection's becoming toxic, I need to leave now. You know, there's elements, so many layers. I just saw an onion just go in my mind and open up. So I feel like I just opened up Pandora's box, but I want to leave it there because I'm going to do a Chiron retrograde video for everybody, and I will not only pull cards, but I want to do it so that you can have a look in your natal chart and see which house and sign Chiron sits in for you and what that means for you. So please check out the description box below and connect with me via Facebook, Instagram or YouTube, and subscribe to my website so that you can receive your 20% off gift and also be notified of each time I post a blog. And yeah, bookings are available for next week and this week. I have Friday wide open at the moment, which is really lovely. So if you want to get in there, Friday is available from 1 o'clock. And yeah, take it easy on yourselves this next week, and really, like, focus on your grounding, keep your mental health in check, you know, like, keep tabs on yourself, make a few notes a day in a diary. Like, I don't want to say go out and go journal, but make a few notes to, like, monitor yourself to see how you're going with all these retrograde energies, you know, especially with Neptune retrograde. It's pretty heavy. Like, I haven't been having dreams very much lately, but the last, not lately, but this year, I haven't really dreamt much until Neptune went retrograde. And I've been pretty pretty active on the astral plane, especially the last 2 nights. It's been pretty full on. So keep that in mind also. And as always, I hope this finds you well. Thank you so much for watching, and have a lovely day. Bye.